again, my friends. Once more, welcome back to the cellar. Welcome back to Leopard Street. Welcome back to little bits of wire shavings that are on track. In the last one, I fitted the DTC2 block detection boards, which are over here. These little beasties, which I've got a couple more of because there's some more to go in, onto this section. And we did a little bit of basic testing of just, does it pick trains up, yes or no? What we're going to look at in this one is putting in the control module, connecting it to the rest of the layout system to JMRI. We're going to get this track configured on JMRI, and we're going to test it with trains. What I'm not going to do is go through the code that drives it in this video. That is 20-25 minutes worth of extra stuff. I have filmed that. It is coming. I'm going to do that as its own video because basically if you're not interested in computer code, let's do the railway bits here. I'll do that as a separate thing. So that's coming up soon as well. Anyway, with that, get on with the installation and get it working. This is Leopard Street, I hope. Okay, board I, which I need to label. PCF 8575. I have recorded setting the software up on that. I'm not going to include it here because it's the best part of half an hour. That'll be a thing on its own. I have the connector to connect the two together, and I have the connector to connect it to the to connect this to the other bits. So I'm going to get this mounted. I'm probably not going to film mounting it because it's a bit awkward to work down here. But basically, this board here goes in about there. The PCF board will go in over here. And get around. We'll go in over here next to it, so somewhere up here, and that'll be that. So I'm going to hook all this up, and then we'll be back. Okay, well here we are back at the desk, and iBlock 0 to iBlock 7 are showing. So what I'm going to do is turn the power on. Let's see if anything changes. iBlock 0 has gone active. Track 1 has got a locomotive on it, so that is correct. Excellent. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to add that into JMRI, and we'll get going. So if I can do this, because then I can switch that off. Tables, sensors, MQTT. Add, and I want I would help if I could type block, I believe, yeah, it's lowercase, iBlock 0, add a sequential range. I'm going to add 3. I'm going to go on here, board I block sensor 0, and if I do that, that should create me some new ones in here somewhere, wherever they are. There we are. That's good. So file, store, save that, store that. Yep. Go into here. I can get rid of MQTT Explorer. I don't need that anymore. Right. So the next bit is to come onto here and add the track. So file, options, edit mode, anchor point. So I need to put an anchor point, yeah, somewhere about there, somewhere about there, and somewhere about there. And then we're going to go track segment. I'll do the outer one first. I'm going to go from there to there. That's going to need moving in a minute as well, but never mind. Edit. Block name is going to be where are we? Aha, I have to connect, I have to create them. Block 1. Block 0. Do it that way. It's a side track. That'll do. Done. Selected block does not have a username. Okay, right, cancel that. What do I need to do here? Tools, tables, blocks. Here we go. So it's created all of those for me. So I should be able to do it in here somewhere if I do this. Edit. Create edit block. There we are. I block 0. And before I do that, I just want to have a little check. It's been a while since I added ones. Yeah, I've gone with 0 as the beginning bit, so that's fine. Create edit block. I block 0. Should work. Sensor is that one. Okay, that. And it's showing occupied because, funnily enough, I've got a train in there. So I'm now going to do another track segment, which is going to go here to that, which is going to be shown up as the same. Edit, that is going to be I block 0, which will be in here somewhere. That one. Kidding. There we go. And I can do this one here, which is going to be edit I block 1. I block 1 again. Goes into there. Sensor. That one. Done. And obviously I'm going to move these around and sort of tidy it up a little bit. Edit. Cheers. And once you've created them, they're on the list, so you can just pick them again. So that one then is going to go from there to there. And what you notice is these really thin lines are... There is no block set up for this. The thicker lines are where there are, and then the really thick lines are where you've told it to be a mainline block, and it can do it. So sensor, but it knows if it's got a sensor attached, it needs to look at this. I'll go with that one. Kidink, that's that. Done. And then that track goes to there. And if I just set that up, block name, I block 2. Done. Right, what I now need to do is just move these about a little bit. Just to make it look a bit nicer, really. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'd like it to look a little bit better. I can fine-tune this all later, it's not really a massive thing at the moment. And that thing can go over there. Like that. Right. Tools, options, kill edit mode. Right. File, store that. Okay, so what we've got in the station is Scotsman with a train, G5 with a train, and the B12 with a train. And I've also got some wagons I might have a run around with as well. I've changed the wheels on these. They were the Dapol wheels and derailed basically on everything. So I've changed some wheels, so I think I might try those. In fact, I'm going to do this manually. I'm going to move Bucky to over here and couple her up. There we go. And then she's going to have a run around as well, but we'll do that towards the end. Now, as you can see on the screen with JMRI, voice of this over here, nothing in the block areas. So what I'm going to do, the route is set, so we are going to come out of the platform road, which is down here. We're going to go past there, which is that section there. We're going to do Scotsman first. So here we are. She's going to rumble out, go all the way around there, and come around on the outer loop. And what we're looking for on the screen is does the outer loop change colour? Hopefully it will. So what I'm going to do is come on here. This is how I have to drive trains when I'm using the camera for something else. So we are going to send her on her way. Off she goes, quarter speed, until we're clear of the station point work. Because, as Kelly's actually quite rightly pointed out, point work can cause problems. It's quite nice to slow down a little bit over complicated point work. So we'll go off there, speed her up a little bit more. And what you'll see on the screen as she goes around over here is, there we are. She's on the block detection system, so she's having a little bit of a run round. Everything else is set for this to be an out and back route. So she's going to come around here, we're going to drop down, we're going to have a little look underneath, and I'm going to hope these coaches stay on the rails. To the point I'm actually, there was one little block there didn't quite show. I'm actually going to slow her down a bit. I'll go back on here, see why that little block there didn't show up in a minute. And she comes round down here into the reversing loop and has successfully negotiated the point work. As you can see, she's showing round on the block system round here. She's going round onto that bit, she'll go onto that bit, and then this is the new bit. Is she going to pick up? It has done. Brilliant. There is a fault. This little section here won't light up. I think I know what the problem is. I suspect it's a dodgy wire, but we'll see in a minute. So round here should all light up, and is doing, and then she'll come back round. So there is still a slight little bit here that's dead, but it is what it is. And she's going to rumble round back over Leopard Junction. As you can see, she's been picked up nicely by the block system again. Do you need this sort of block detection? Not really. I'm using it because I'm going to be automating certain bits of this layout. What I'd like to be able to do is say to a train, you're sitting in the departure road, depart, and have it clear off and go and do this while I'm... Basically, I can shunt a train while one's running around, and I can listen to it and I can enjoy it. And she's leaving the area that's block detected now. Still showing as red because some of those coaches have got resistor wheel sets. And she's going to come around here into the arrivals platform. The others are going to do straight out and back. They're going to come back in on the track they depart on. So here comes the A1 Flying Scotsman. And she might be joined by a new locomotive soon. I'm going to... Rails of Sheffield have got a flash sale on, and I've got the possibility of I'm going to get me joining another. So that's that. So next up, what I need to do is send a train around the middle loop. So if I come onto here, and what I'm going to do is change a couple of points. So we're looking at the middle loop, and for the middle loop, we're going to use the G5, who is going to have to... A few points changed, so her route is set. Come over here to my driving area, go release, and I can set the G5. Now the G5 has got sound, so I can turn the sound on. Woo! And here we go. We've got another lovely little locomotive. Apologies for slightly unsteady camera work here. Go a little bit quicker than that. And again, once she's clear of all the point work, I'll speed her up a little bit. And what I'll now do is correct the big mistake I've just made. And I'll bring her backwards, and we'll send her out on the correct track. Because that's the arrivals road she's just gone down, due to what can only be referred to as incompetence. So what I need to do is reset a couple more points, which is that one and that one. We go forwards, and we'll try again. And off she goes. And another lovely, lovely little locomotive. And now she's clear of the diamond. And down here, I can correct that. So now we're set so she'll rumble back in. Now, again, she's going to rumble round. The block system will pick her up as she goes past where the candle is. So there we are. That's gone red on the layout. JMRA uses a couple of different colours, actually. If I start using route management on here, you sort of have a greyish colour for the track normally. Red is occupied. You start seeing, as he brings in white and blue. I can't quite remember which way round it goes. I think white is a reserved block of track, and blue is one that a train is in when it's under control. Now, something I need to experiment with a little bit more. Incidentally, I've got some more bits for the mimic panel idea coming, which I need to have a little bit of a think about. But that's going to take a while. So she's going to come around here. We're going to come down here, and we're going to watch it come around. I do need to get some points down here, sorry, some lights down here. And she's going to go round on the middle line. And again, on the block detection board, we can see what she's doing. And she comes round here now. And these coaches behave quite well. So again, she's going to come out over there. She's disappeared currently because that little section, and she's come back. That little section of thin lines here is the next bit that's going to get block detection added to it. So again, what we're watching for is this middle line on these loops. Does this pick up the fact it has got a train in it? Rather hoping it does. There we go. And off she goes. And this is basically how I can do reversing round. Each of these loops can obviously hold 2 trains, so I've got the ability to have 6 down here, waiting to head up to the station. I can dispatch one, move the other one up. That creates a little bit of space. Then one can leave the station and come back down. So I can actually have quite a few trains on here now. I've got this section set up. And again, she's coming round on the red bit. She's wandering around quite nicely, and she'll come out past that light and the signal box shortly. There we go. And again, going off up onto the incline. Obviously, I'm currently storing 2 freight trains on the main loops. Basically, because I've been working on the layout, I've been working underneath. I don't try to store trains on the storage area when I'm working on things, just in case I have to take a board off or I need to drill a hole in something. It's just easier not to have them. So she's going to come round, and as again you can see on the little board as she's been occupied. There is a signalling plan actually for Leopard Street. I'll have to go through that at some point. What we've got is blocks are set up to work with where I want to put signals. And when I start doing route management, which is coming up at some point in the not too distant future, I hope, the signals mark where trains will be stopped, which is sort of the idea, is trains stop at signals. And here she comes in. Slow down a little bit as we approach. That signal there eventually needs 4 platform arms and an arm for a goods yard. So that'll probably end up being a gantry. Yeah, given I want the signals to work, that could be quite interesting. Some of the wheels aren't turning on the back of the G5. There is a spring that holds that bogie down. It's currently sitting in a wagon because it fell out and I can't work out how to get it back in. I need to dig up the service sheet and have a look. But that's the G5 having gone round on the middle track. What we're now going to do is send the B12 round on the inner loop. But we're just going to get into the... There we are, she's in the station. I'll turn the sound off. Right, so we come back over here and I want the innermost loop. So I reset points to set the inner loop. And I reset the point work up here to select the B12. and this time so that she actually goes out properly. So she's over there. I need to come over here, release, and pick up my B12. And I need to give her a little bit more beans, because otherwise she does exactly what she's just done of lurch forward about a third of a wheel turn and then stop. Come on, wakey wakey. She seems to be pretty good once she's going. It's just sometimes getting going is a bit... I mean, she's an old girl, to be fair. And again, I shall reset the point work for an arrival. And again, this is watching on the block detection as she goes round. This time we're going to be looking at the inside loop here and see how well that goes. And around she goes. It's quite a nice little loco, this. I'm to say she's old. She's not exactly the detailed version. I mean, this is the... We're going to go around here successfully. This is very, very firmly the train set version. But she runs nicely. She's a lovely little runner. And she's on the outermost loop. Which means I need to change some points fairly quickly. So yes. Never mind. I'll bring her back up and I'll send Bucky round onto the inner loop. Given I've just completely and utterly got that wrong. So that's there. Yes, that's now reset. And Bucky can take the Dapol wagons around, and we'll see how well that goes. Like I say, they've got new wheels now, so I'm moderately hopeful. So here we come round. Yes, this one wasn't strictly speaking the test I really wanted it to be. Slow her down a little bit now. As she comes in. She does need some more pickups adding actually in the tender, which will hopefully sort that out. And she can stop there. Now, Bucky, the loud engine, again, who is now bravely, very, very bravely going to take the Dapol wagons out. So again, we will reset the point work for departure. What do you reckon, Bucky? This going to go well? I hope your optimism is well placed. And we'll set for 50%. With a little bit of a mixed freight train. Bananas and beer. Which, to be fair, I think is a pretty good combination. Now, the wagons have worked fairly well when being pulled. It tends to be when being shunted, so I'll try that when we get back up. But, as I say, the primary purpose of this is testing this inner loop. So we'll let her rumble off like that. The grey wagons disappearing against the grey baseboard. Yeah. I mentioned before, I mean, I do like these wagons. I've spent a little bit on them. I've invested 8p in each of the Whitby Brewery ones in terms of adding a little bit more weight to them. And I've now put some new wheels, which came in a box like that. From China, they're AliExpress wheels. They're about the right size and they seem to fit, so we shall see as we rumble around here. And still need to fix Cheshire. So yeah, there's a few little jobs I need to do. The next one that is planned while we're talking about this, I've got 2 more DTC2s. This is to fill in this last little bit of the low level. It's sort of, I mean, they're all down here. It'll have to connect to the ball controller that's under here. But as you see, she's rumbling around. She's not derailed. Nothing's exploded. Nothing's caught fire. Nothing's fell over yet. And again, I can watch it. The bit that didn't work earlier is now working on the pattern, because we had a train earlier in this section here did not change colour. Yeah, we'll see. So this time we're going to come round. We are set for the inner road. We are going to have a little look and see how well these manage all this point work. To be fair, it's weird actually. They're normally all right down here. The issue tends to be diamonds, where the tolerances really are pushed a little bit. So there she goes into the dead zone. Excuse me. Hopefully this innermost track will pick her up. There she goes around this little corner. Part of the reason for doing this, there's one thing I can do with JMRI. I've not done it yet, but I'm going to experiment with it at some point. Oop. There we are. There's a little bit over there that missed for some reason. So sort that out. Yeah, you can tell JMRI that there is a specific locomotive in that block which has picked up correctly, which is excellent. And it'll then follow around the layout. You can get it to tell you what train is in a section. It's not train identification. It is still train detection. But the software will track, well, I know the train in the preceding block was this one. It is now moving in this direction, so it should be the one that has entered that block. And what I'm wanting to do is combine that with some Railcom detectors, which I'm going to have to build at some point. That's another future project. And when I've got the Railcom detectors set up, I can have those just in one or two little places, and that will inform JMRI of what the locomotive is, and so I don't have to manually enter it all the time. So here we go. And so far, those wagons are behaving themselves. I don't want to speak too soon, but I've never had the 6 of them run this long without one of them coming off the rails. So we shall see. I shall reset the approach road while I remember. So she can come in down here and she's going to head back onto their little siding. This does mean she's going to be the wrong end of the train because I don't have a run round up here. At some point I'll have to get something else to come in and free her a little bit. Yeah, put the K3 back on duty. But that, so far, is a successful test of the reversing loop block detection, which is picking up correctly. Now, to be honest, I did have a few problems. I did do a bit of earlier testing, and they picked up what was in a block sometimes. The board wasn't starting up perfectly. I suspect the problem is the antenna is quite near the DCC bus. It's an easy fix. I just need to print another bracket and then I can put the antenna somewhere else. What do you reckon, Bucky? See? Happy. I do like sound-fitted locos. As we're going to rumble in. I am going to stop her in a sec and try and reverse over some of this point work. Because I want to test these wagons out while I'm doing it. Just make sure these work, because let's just say previously it's not gone brilliantly. So we will go straight across the diamond. Here we go. Not the diamond, the slip. So this is the bit I'm really testing them on. Here we go. Is it going to work? Now the Bachmann brake van I'm fairly sure will be fine. Well, I'm quite impressed with that. It has just occurred to me, I do actually have a way of running around these wagons, which is to bring them up from here into the parcels platform, and then I can do something. Basically, I can use the I can use the turntable area as a bit of a runaround. So I'm going to park her down there. My youngest is about painting things. Yes, painting things with a lovely new airbrush he's picked up. So I want to keep things a little bit out of the way. Actually, thinking about it, I am actually going to run them back where they were, because then they're not on the edge of the board and they are really out of the way. So we'll see. Open the taps a little bit. Live dangerously. Not that Bucky's a particularly quick moving locomotive. But there we go. And with that, as she pulls in, I think that is going to be the end of this video. I've just realised she's about to crash into a load of other wagons, which I'd forgotten was down here. And she sits there with her wheels turning gently. Yes, I'm going to bring her back a little bit. It's amazing the trouble you can cause when you're not very competent. Anyway, right, that'll do. So, yes, that is it for this video. We have seen now how these have gone in, how I've connected them up. Like I say, we will look at the code side of this in the next one. That might be over the weekend, actually. I might do that as a bank holiday video, because I'm away for the bank holiday, so we shall see what we can do with that. Turn all that off. Everything goes down, and she's still making noise. There you are, died off. And stay alive really is quite powerful, isn't it? Anyway, with that and those 4 trains run round, that is it for this video. So enjoy your bank holiday weekend, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.